Hello, this is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to the 13th Mordred Reports, where we talk about the state of the channel, and the first thing to report back on, of course, is that we've hit 5,000 subscribers. That is absolutely mind-blowing, like, incredible, absolutely incredible. A couple of statistics, because I'm sure you'll be interested. So in the first 10 months that the channel existed, we reached 1,000. So I think we started roughly in January, and by October we'd hit 1,000. 9 months after that, we're at 5,000. So that kind of gives you an idea of just how quickly the channel is growing at the moment, and honestly, I couldn't be happier. Thank you. Thank you all very much for your support. It absolutely couldn't be possible without you guys watching the videos, so thank you, really. So this does now beg the question, how do we celebrate? So as you know, I'm going to be away for about a week. So I've been rather busy preparing content for while I'm absent to make sure that things keep getting uploaded. But I want to do something to celebrate this. I mean, 5,000 is something of a milestone. I purposely didn't do anything for the 3,000 and 4,000 because I always saw 5,000 as being the bigger one. And now we've actually hit that. I'm kind of going, should have had something prepared for this, but I don't. So what would you like to see? What I'm thinking is maybe a stream or something, maybe a game that I wouldn't usually play, or possibly a multiplayer game. I don't know. I'd like to do something special for this, but quite frankly, I have no ideas about what that could be. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below, and I will absolutely, very happily, have a look at that and see what I can arrange. So outside of the milestone for YouTube, there was also an interesting one for Twitch. The other day I got 156 followers in one day. Absolutely crazy. I was talking to Uldrahill about this afterwards, and he had something similar as well happen actually, and we suspect it's because Twitch on mobile now suggests different streamers, so a lot of people are seeing a big increase in the number of people following them. But 156 in one day is absolutely incredible. I was getting like 15 to 20 in a day usually, and yeah, 156. As a comparison, at the time, or after that, I had 831 followers in total. So it was a really, really big boost. And yeah, wow. So basically, out of all of this, the month of June has been utterly ridiculous. The channel grew by about 750 subscribers, the YouTube channel. We had the first couple of series appearing, which were hitting very regularly 1,000 views a day, which was incredible. I mean, up to then, the record was like 200 to 300. That was kind of the normal, with the exception of Brazil, which I think hit 400 a day. But then once the Ottomans came out, once Ireland came out, once Imperial Japan came out, those all hit 1,000 a day, and were doing that throughout the series. I mean, it went down to maybe 700 or 800 towards the end of those, but still, it is absolutely incredible. And when you compare that to the roughly 200 views a day that my other series get, or going down to probably about 100, Kaiserreich is just absolutely blowing things away, which is probably why there's a fair amount of Kaiserreich up on the channel at the moment, and there will continue to be for the foreseeable future. So before I get too in depth about what is happening with the various Kaiserreich stuff, I want to kind of break this down and talk about what's happening for the multiplayer stuff, and then the single player stuff, and then I'll talk about Twitch after that. So first of all, I'm going to start with the big EU4 game which I've been doing, which is of course the Pale Pirates with, make sure I get all the names right here, Bundeswehr Bob, Ben Magnus, Commissioner Roach, Nems, and of course Uldrahill. That is going extremely well, despite some, shall we say, setbacks in the Pale Pirates' fortunes, particularly in relation to England, but some things are in the works. We've already recorded that. I mean, we're probably 10 episodes ahead of where you guys are right now. Again, because we had to pre-record, this is the summer period, so there are some scheduling conflicts. Which is also explaining why the series has gone to an every other day series, and that will be happening for the foreseeable future. However, once the summer holidays are over, we are absolutely planning to go back to it being a daily. It's just because some of us can't make the weekend recording slot. I've missed one. I know Ben was going to miss one. Bob's missed one. Uldrahill's going to miss one. So there have been a couple of problems there. once we're through the summer, though, the summer is always going to be rather more difficult because that's when people tend to go away, then we should be able to become a daily show again, which would be really cool. I'm absolutely loving that game. It is really testing my ability to do stuff. I'm kind of surprised by how much of a threat England has been, but considering how Scotland has been my nemesis up till now, I've never had a good game as Scotland. I shouldn't really be surprised, and I wasn't, but considering we're using the custom ideas, I thought I'd be doing a lot better than I actually am. Part of the problem is I just haven't had enough monarch points to actually buy the ideas. But again, stay tuned. Things are happening. Things are going to be happening. Probably from like now. Start watching now. There has been a bit of downtime while I was recovering from the various wars. But there is definitely an upside coming soon. So if you want to check that out and see exactly how Ireland can come back from the precipice. And this is an island which has lost the strait crossing between England and Ireland. England could just cross easily. I can't blockade them anymore. It looked impossible, but stay tuned and see exactly what happens there. Okay, so then the other multiplayer game is the Kaiserreich multiplayer. That was the Wild Titans. Now, unfortunately, that series is going to stop. It is another corrupted save. There was nothing we could do about it. Again, we wasted about an hour of recording time trying to fix that, but we were not able to. Also, Igel is unable to play for the foreseeable future. His work's got increasingly busy, and he's just not able to commit the time to do that on a regular basis, as running a regular series requires. So we have elected to make it a 3-player thing for the moment, and we have started a new game. So this is the Major Titans, where I am playing as Germany, fighting for the Mitteleuropa. Bussy is in Canada, fighting for the Entente, and then Valinoma is in the Commune of France, with the Third International. And the idea there is to have the strongest by points faction by the end of 1945. So I think that's going to be a very interesting series. A lot of things already happening. And if you haven't checked that out, then I would strongly recommend that you do, because there is a lot of backstabbing going on. There's a lot of volunteers. There's a lot of geopolitics. It's really quite fascinating. Right, so then the other thing in multiplayer news is the open multiplayer games that I've been running on Saturdays. That is absolutely going to continue. I've really been enjoying those, and I want those to continue. Unfortunately, I have been away for a couple of weeks in the USA, then I'm back for a week where I'm really rapidly having to record a whole bunch, so I haven't been able to commit to anything. And then I'm away for another week again. I'm a scout leader. I'm away on scout camp for that. Basically, it's a license to burn stuff, so I'm pretty happy. So that is going to resume, I think, let me just double check my calendar here, on the 5th of August. Yeah, the 5th of August should be the first open multiplayer game again. And I very much hope that you will join in on that. We usually get like 10 players or something, which is kind of crazy, and it makes for a really good session. We'll very likely continue in the Kaiserreich games. It's just proven to be really popular, and it's a lot of fun to play. So, on the topic of Kaiserreich, let's talk about the single player thing. So, as I said earlier, Kaiserreich is just dominating the channel at the moment because it has the viewer numbers, it has the number of views, it has the watch time, and because of that it has the revenue to make it by far the most worthwhile. And I would have to say that a lot of the channel's growth at the moment is down to the popularity of Kaiserreich. So I think the best place for me to start is to say thank you very much to the Kaiserreich team for making it. I know from experience how difficult it is to make mods. I have a background in modding myself. I'm a developer on the Prophecy of Pendor series for Mount & Blade. That is where I'm sure a couple of you guys know me from. And yeah, I know how big a problem modding is, particularly one of the scope and the quality that Kaiserreich has. So seriously, Kaiserreich team, you're doing a fantastic job. Please do continue it, and please know that we're going to be supporting you throughout that development cycle. Yeah, man, Kaiserreich is incredible. So, with Kaiserreich in single player, I have now played as Japan, the Princely Federation, the Ottoman Empire, Ireland, the Ottomans, and now most recently Austria. I've been doing that as a stream, playing it on stream, and then porting the stream across onto YouTube. That means that the two separate audiences, and they are definitely separate, get to both watch it. And that is something I hadn't really expected when I started doing the Twitch stuff. I thought a lot of my Twitch audience would be the guys from YouTube who just wanted to see it live. Yeah, there's a couple of you doing that, but nowhere near as many as I had expected. There's definitely two distinct audiences going on there. And it seems to be people are pretty happy with me recording stuff on Twitch. Yes, you do get the live chat interactions. I do try and read off the comments that I'm responding to so that the people on YouTube know what I'm referring to when I am talking about stuff. But it seems to work pretty well. It saves me a lot of time, that's for sure. I used to have to record everything and then also do the Twitch streams, but now I just do the Twitch streams, then upload them. I will be returning to doing some pure YouTube content. There's a couple of games I want to visit for that. I just have not had the time in the last 2 months or so because of the 3-week block that I was away, and I had to make sure I had enough to cover that time. But over time that will be phasing back in. But the Kaiserreich stuff, because people... It's really good for Twitch format, and the people on the YouTube channel want to see what's happening there, so it just makes sense. Okay, so I've talked about the countries that I've played as. I have hinted a number of times that there is a list of countries which I want to visit in the future. Let me read out what those are so that you actually know what they are. There is the Civil War. So the Civil War series proved to be very, very popular. It didn't quite finish. I would like to revisit the Civil War, the US Civil War, in single player and properly play through that, probably as the American Union state, though I am sure I could be persuaded to play as someone else. And talking of Civil Wars, I really want to try the Carlist Spain. That should be interesting. Now that Spain actually has focuses, that is definitely one I want to visit. Of the new countries, Italian Federation is another one that's very high up on my list. The socialist Italy has a focus now, and that was the main reason I didn't play as Italy previously, is because I didn't want one of your main opponents not to have focuses. And now that Austria also has been fleshed out, I think that Italy would be a really, really interesting game. Maybe not immediately, having just played as their neighbour, but certainly upcoming. It's also been suggested that Serbia could be an interesting one, and the Netherlands is also on my list, but the Netherlands I'm going to hold out on because I think that they really need to have Indonesia to have a focus tree, and right now it doesn't. Indonesia plays a really huge part of World War II Dutch history, and you kind of need that for the full context there. There are a couple of other countries I would like to revisit, including the Union of Britain, Mongolia, Canada, Commune of France. All of them have... Oh no, Commune of France I haven't played before. I would like to do that, just so I actually know what I'm up against. Yeah, we'll be doing that. And then maybe a replay as Germany, though now I'm playing as Germany in the multiplayer game. I may not need to do that. And I know that a certain viewer, Taco Slayer, will be slightly worried that I haven't mentioned Mexico yet. Yeah, Mexico's on the list too. In fact, it is right at the top of the list right now. Whether that means I'll play as them next, I don't know, but it's there in big letters, Mexico. Don't kill me, please. I don't need slaying. Right, so that is the Kaiserreich stuff. What other games are going on? In fact, before we talk about other games, I know that there are other mods for Hearts of Iron. A lot of people have recommended Road to 56. A lot of people have talked about Black Ice. I would like to play them. Right now my channel is too busy with Kaiserreich, so I cannot. If I slow down with the Kaiserreich content, then I may well have a chance to visit them. Black Ice in particular, I want to. Black Ice is what got me really into Hearts of Iron 3, and that kind of led to this current love affair with Hearts of Iron 4. So bear with me. I'm still busy with Kaiserreich, but I would like to do that in the future. I just don't have the capacity to do it right now. But it is definitely something I want to visit. March of the Vikings was the long mega campaign, which is also supposed to be going into Hearts of Iron 4. I've struggled to get myself motivated for that because Kaiserreich is so interesting, because of all the focuses and the different stuff going on. I've had like a permanent slot in my time schedule for this, and for like 2 months I just haven't run anything in there. So I think I'm going to drop the Hearts of Iron portion of the mega campaign. I've heard from other people reporting that it's just not as interesting as playing even vanilla, because the factions get completely messed up. It's really unbalanced because it's difficult to kind of put the nations in different balanced factions, so Allies, Axis, or Entente, whatever. So I'm probably going to drop that. I might do another mega campaign in the future, but no promises. A couple of people have asked me to do that, and it is such a massive time commitment. Like, it is literally 6 months of solid day-by-day gameplay that has to be on the schedule, and that really makes it difficult to adapt to new games and things like that coming out, because it's something that always has to be there. So it is a humongous commitment. I would like to do it, but I'm reluctant. The Viking one was kind of special because it's one that's close to my own heart. There are a couple of other ones I wouldn't mind trying, but it might happen. I'm not going to say no, but it's unlikely, at least in the near future. Right, now we can talk about the other games. So, Total War Warhammer is the one which I am pushing at the moment. We have a game going on with dwarfs, which has been really interesting. That has been something of a revelation, actually. So I've done a couple of Total War games in the past on the YouTube channel, and they've just not done well. At all. They just don't get the viewers. I have no idea why. Mordred Viking's community is very much strategy orientated. Total War is like the culmination of loads of different strategy genres and is kind of seen as the most popular torch-bearing strategy proponent, but people just don't watch it, and it's really weird. But people do seem to be watching it on Twitch, so depending on how it does on YouTube, I may continue I'll probably continue uploading it there because I know there is an audience, but almost certainly, even if it doesn't go up to YouTube, I will continue it on Twitch because there is definitely a Twitch audience for it. So yes, there will definitely be more Total War Warhammer, which I'm absolutely ecstatic about. I think it's a great game. It's a game that I really wanted to get my teeth into for a while now, but like I said, the popularity just wasn't there to make it really worth my time. But I think we are getting to a certain stage where that is once again being worthwhile. So if you would like to see more other games, then please do watch them. This is like the metric that I have to use in deciding whether something is worthwhile. So the reason Hearts of Iron is getting so much emphasis right now is because it is the most popular. I have to go where the numbers are. This is a business. I am trying to make money out of this, and I really want to expand out a little bit. Total War seems to be a really good option to do that in, and I'm hoping that goes forwards. Also, Total War Warhammer is released in October, I want to say, and I have some rather nice ideas on what I want to do in that, including another co-op game with Tome. Now that co-op is actually officially being supported by Creative Assembly, that should be a really interesting thing to do. Okay, so that's enough Total War. The other one which has been a mainstay of the channel is Europa Universalis 4. I'm going to be very honest here and say I am getting a bit burnt out by it. I have played thousands of hours of EU4, and it's just getting more and more difficult to find a nation and find a goal to set for myself, which is interesting. I'm going to put the multiplayer game aside in that at the moment because it has the additional context in it being multiplayer. It's the interaction with actual players, so the outcomes are more dynamic and more unpredictable, and as a result more interesting. So I'm loving the multiplayer. That is, like, I'm putting that in a different category. But single player EU4, I just need a break from it. Like, I would probably classify Europa Universalis 4 as my favourite game of all time. Contended possibly only by Mount and Blade. I'd have them joint first. But I just need a break from it. I'm getting really quite burnt out. So I'm going to kind of wait and see what Paradox does for the next expansion. That might rekindle my interest a little bit. But for single player games, the Muscovy one just kind of petered out. It was way too easy. And I'm just going to step back, take a break, do something else, and see what happens. So the Thursday stream, which used to be for Europa Universalis, is now going to be the Total War stream. So if you want to see the dwarves, and you want to see Weldon Owens rising to fame again, then the Thursday streams is when I'm going to be doing Warhammer instead of EU4. Alright, so talking of games which I've been really wanting to have work, I've been trying desperately to get RPGs to work on the channel. It is quite radically different from strategy games, so I'm not entirely surprised that they don't do particularly well. But I've tried Pillars of Eternity, it just wasn't getting the viewership. I've tried Tyranny, and it is also not getting the viewership. I really want to play through these games. I love RPGs, but again, it's time versus reward problem. So these might make an appearance on the Wacky Wednesday slots when I play whatever kind of I feel like. But whether I'll actually upload them to YouTube, I cannot say right now. I know there are a couple of you out there who like the stories that emerge from these games, so I'm still going to look for like story-centric games, but maybe not necessarily the ones with reams and reams of text, because that does get bogged down, that does get boring. I understand this. It is a lot slower for me to read content out than it is for you guys to actually read it when you're playing through a game or reading it through on screen. But I kind of like doing the voices. So I'm probably going to keep on chipping away at RPGs from time to time, but I'm going to do that well with the idea that this isn't the audience for it. I understand that, but I'm still going to try. Just not for a while. The other genre which does make an appearance on the channel and actually seems to do okay is survival games. So the Sunday survival slot on Twitch is pretty much dedicated to playing 7 Days to Die with Bussy, and that's been fairly long running now. Alpha 16 just released last week. I think it was last week. And we've just started a game on that. The Sunday survival games are open to Patreon supporters. So if you are a Patreon supporter of the... Gosh, what level is it? It's either 8 or 15, I forget which. One of those levels. Then you are absolutely $15. You're absolutely welcome to join us, and it is totally open for you to do that. And in fact, last Sunday, we did have Pozniak joining us, which was great fun. It is really, really nice seeing a couple more players there, but this is something I like to do with my friends. This is something which I do to relax, to chill out. It's just, you know, it's something of interest which I like to do. I enjoy survival games, and 7 Days to Die is probably the cream of the crop right now. There are a couple of others on my horizon. Ark I'd like to try, and also Empyrean is another one I'd like to try. But 7 Days right now is just way ahead of the others, so that is what we will be doing for the foreseeable future. If you would like to join us on that, then do check out the Patreon, which you can find linked in the description below. At the $15 tier, you are absolutely welcome to join us in that. The Saturday multiplayer games, which is the usually strategy games, there's no money barrier there. That is open to everyone, but if we have a limited number of slots, or if we get too many people coming in, then those of you in Patreon will get priority, especially the $15 slot, which has that explicitly stated. You have priority to these games. So if that does become a problem, and it might, because we have been reaching like 10 plus players, and going by the stability of some of the Paradox games, that might be kind of a soft limit. You might want to do that if you want to guarantee yourselves a slot. Sorry that I'm having to lock it behind a paywall, but that is one of the ways I raise money, I'm sorry to say, and also ensures the quality of the gameplay for those who are playing. What else do I need to say? There are some other smaller titles which I want to try. I mean, one of the statuses which I'm very aware that YouTubers and Twitch streamers have is, and this is a great term of saying what we do, is we're influencers. We introduce people to new games and new content, and I would definitely want to make that something of a staple on the channel. So yeah, the standard stuff will be the strategy, that is definitely the focus, but I also like to introduce new innovative games. 7 Days to Die is one, RimWorld is another. Those are both indie, kind of more niche, more smaller scale ones. Mad Max was another one. I think Mad Max is definitely a gem which not a lot of people knew about, and there are a couple of others. Stay tuned. I've been keeping a very close eye on Steam. I have a number of them on my wish list, and I will give them a shot when I have the opportunity to do so. Like I've said, I've been extremely busy the last 2 months. I have not had the opportunity, but now things are getting a little less hectic. Well, in 2 weeks they'll be a little less hectic, and that's when I'm going to start approaching some of these. So there are a couple of games I want to do: Blood Bowl, Kenshi, No Moria. There's a couple of them which I think you guys would be interested in, and which I want to help promote. I think they have a lot of potential, and they could really do with a bigger audience, and I think you guys would be interested in that. So there we go. Right, so the last thing I wanted to talk about, second to last, is the schedule in general. Oh, yeah, I'm just saying, I have a note, like, talk about the schedule. Yeah, the bit that I need to talk about there is I'm not here next week, so no streams will be around for that. The weekend following that, so from the 31st, I will be resuming my usual streaming schedule. So Tuesday will be the War Day. That is when you will find Hearts of Iron 4. Random Wednesday, Wacky Wednesday is for the random games. Thursdays is now going to be the Total War Thursday. Friday I don't stream. Saturday is going to be during the day. This is all British times. During the day it's going to be the multiplayer game, then in the evening it's going to be the single player, probably also Hearts of Iron. I might make Hearts of Iron Saturday only and then do something else Tuesday, but considering the popularity of Kaiserreich right now, I probably won't. But that is something I might do in the future if I want to like add a few more games to the roster. And then finally we have Survival Sunday, which, as I've said, is the 7 Days to Die at the moment. So I do hope that you will join me for Twitch. You can find a link to the Twitch channel in the description below if you're interested in following in on that. So, talking about Twitch. In fact, everything I have in my notes so far I've already talked about. So there is not much more to say for Twitch except that it is growing really quite quickly at the moment. I have been invited to become an affiliate, which allows me to give you some more rewards and unlocks and allows me to accept bits and things like that. Haven't done the paperwork yet. There's quite a lot of tax paperwork there to do. I will get around to doing it at some point. Stay tuned. And then after that, I think subscriptions would be the next step, and then after that hopefully Twitch partnership, which is like the big step. The barrier to entry on Twitch is much higher than on YouTube. I don't get paid a penny for all of the Twitch stuff that I do at the moment. I do get paid on YouTube thanks to the advertising, but even the adverts that roll before my content on Twitch, I do not see a single penny, cent, dime, whatever from that. That all goes to Twitch, and that's because I am not yet a Twitch partner. So, if you want to help support the channel in other ways, then I do very strongly recommend that you check out the Patreon. It's a great way of getting rewards. There are a number of things, a number of benefits which are for you. And if you would like to see anything else appearing in that Patreon, or that you would like to pay for and support the channel with, let me know in the comments. I'm absolutely open to this. I will likely be rejigging the Patreon slightly. For example, the voting rights I think should be open to everyone rather than locked behind a paywall. So I will be revisiting that in the next month or two. So stay tuned. I will make an announcement when that actually happens. But right now, I'm really happy with how Twitch is going. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been supporting me on that. And also, talking of Twitch, we have hit the $100 goal, which was when tutorials would start. And the first tutorial, and I still can't believe that it reached 1 hour in length, was the Getting Started tutorial for Europa Universalis 4. If you want to learn how to play Europa Universalis 4, then that tutorial is the place to start. I am now committed to doing a tutorial, one more tutorial a month, thanks to the Patreon supporters, so you are directly contributing to this, guys, to do more of these tutorials. So it'll be Europa Universalis 4. The next one that I'm going to be working on, probably tomorrow, will be a trade video. So talking about trade, that is something I've been promising to do for a while. Now that we've reached that, I have the means and the ability to do so. So trade will be the next one. And then there's a couple of other topics. It won't just be EU4. I also want to talk about Hearts of Iron. For example, the different doctrines. I know that I often clash with some of you guys in my doctrine choices. I want to talk about the different doctrines, what I perceive as their strengths and weaknesses from my own experience. I've played a lot of Hearts of Iron now. I have a pretty good idea of the strengths and weaknesses of the different doctrines, particularly the ground ones and the naval ones. I'm still a little bit unsure about the Air Force, but yeah, I'll work on that. So, like I was saying, if you want to support this channel, and I really do rely on your generosity for this, guys, then please do check out the Patreon. If you watch my YouTube content with an ad blocker, I ask you to whitelist me on that, or else hit me up on the Patreon for a $1 thing. That is easily enough to cover the costs of running this channel, and would quite honestly pay a lot more than 1,000 views. And I'm pretty sure that none of you, even my most dedicated viewers, are watching 1,000 videos a month. I'm sure some of you try, but I don't think any of you actually reach it. I'd be very impressed if you did. In fact, I doubt I even put out 1,000 a month. I think like 2,000 total. Anyway, I'm rambling, and this video is almost half an hour long, which has never happened before for a mods report. So I am going to say at this point, thank you very much again for watching. 5,000 subscribers, absolutely mental. I can still barely believe that has happened, and I'm just going to double check how many. I'm at 900 followers on Twitch, so we're closing in on 1,000 followers on Twitch as well. So we're hitting some serious milestones. Mordred Viking's channel is definitely growing, and I 100% have you guys to thank for that. So thank you very much for supporting me. Thank you very much for watching everything here, and thank you very much for interacting with me. That is absolutely the highlight of what I do. If you want to interact with me more directly, then hit me up in the comments, hit me up on Twitter, and finally Discord. Discord's very active, and I am there very frequently, so if you want to interact more with me or with the community as a whole, then I do recommend checking out Discord. Also, if you're looking to do multiplayer games, setting your own stuff up, for example, then Discord's a really good place to do that, especially for strategy related content, and also tips and advice. Like, there is a good community there. They know their stuff. If you have any questions, then ask it there or ask it in the comments. I'm really happy with the community that we're fostering here. You're a nice bunch, and I love you for it. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Pushing. So many touchdowns, Jim. I've lost count. I mean, I can only count to 3 anyway. That was a lot, right?